Under the biting cold of December, James's small farm and Tuan's wooden house stood out as beacons in the stormy journey of love between James and Diep. When Tuan returned the $20,000 that Diep had received from Mr. Tong, he wasn't just safeguarding their love, he was paving the way for understanding and reunion. Misunderstandings began to melt away as James and Diep found their way back to each other, overcoming the gap between wealth and poverty and the haunting shadows of the past. Memories of Pau's cruelty still haunted Diep, but Lynn's empathy and James's deep, unwavering love became the warmth that pulled her through. In this chapter, their happiness at last begins to shine after all the hardships, as love triumphs over every obstacle. Early that morning, Tuan sat at his scarred wooden table, wearing the same jacket he'd worn for years at the lumber mill, now worn at the shoulders from time and labor. Cracks in the table's surface resembled the lines of a hand worn by a life full of hardship, something both he and Diep understood all too well. The flickering flame of an old oil lamp lit his rugged face, casting faint, restless shadows across the wall. His eyes, usually sharp, now looked distant, lost in thought over the conversation he'd had with Diep the night before. Before him lay a thick stack of crisp $100 bills, $20,000 in total. The money Mr. Tong, James's father, had given Diep to walk away from his son. Diep had handed the money to Tuan with trembling hands, her eyes red and her thin face wet with tears, as if she were entrusting her broken heart into his care. Her voice had echoed in the cold room. "Tuan, this is the $20,000 Mr. Tong gave me, to leave James. I can't keep it. I don't want him to suffer, or for him to be hated by his father because of me. You should take it. Your mom is sick too." Tuan had shaken his head firmly, his voice low but unwavering. "No, Diep, I can't take it. James loves you deeply. I saw how much he hurt when you disappeared. I won't let you sacrifice your love for money. I won't let Mr. Tong destroy the most beautiful thing the two of you have." Diep sobbed, her voice choking. "But my mother needs surgery. I have no other choice. I didn't want James to know. I was afraid he'd think I betrayed him." Tuan had reached out, placing a steady hand over hers, his eyes glowing with empathy. "I understand, but James won't blame you. He'll help. You don't have to carry this pain alone. You deserve to be happy." That conversation had cut deep into his heart. He couldn't let her continue carrying that burden. Rising from his seat, his worn-out boots thumped against the cold dirt floor. His eyes lit with a fire of resolve. "I'm returning this money to Mr. Tong. James and Diep can't lose each other over this. I won't let Diep live through another nightmare like she had with Pau." He stepped onto the rocky dirt road outside. Mist clung to his feet like fingers trying to hold him back. But even the bitter cold couldn't touch his resolve. His heart pounded with purpose. "I'll do what's right, for Diep, for James, and for my own conscience." At a luxury hotel in the center of Tanmin town, Mr. Tong sat in a grand suite beneath a gleaming crystal chandelier that bathed the room in warm golden light. The chandelier's shimmering crystals sparkled like stars, casting elegant reflections across his weathered face. Deep lines etched his skin like a map of all the years he had fought his way out of poverty, building wealth and reputation through unyielding choices and harsh decisions. The marble floor glowed under the chandelier's light, polished to a mirror shine. Priceless oil paintings adorned the pristine white walls. An intricately carved ebony table and chair set sat in the center of the room, radiating power, but not warmth. The room felt as cold as the winter outside, despite the elegant fireplace crackling softly in the corner. The flickering flames danced, casting lonely shadows in the silence. Mr. Tong sat in a plush red velvet chair, his veiny hands resting on the polished wood armrest, his sharp eyes staring out the frosted window. The fog blurred the view of the town below, much like the thoughts clouding his mind. James, Diep, and the future he had tried to control. His assistant, a stern-looking man in a black suit, entered quietly and said, "Sir, Tuan is here. He's waiting in the lobby." Mr. Tong nodded slightly, voice low but curious. "Send him in. Let's see what he wants." Moments later, the heavy wooden door creaked open. Tuan stepped in, his worn boots tracking faint red dust across the gleaming marble floor. His presence starkly contrasted the room's luxury. He stood tall, eyes firm and steady. Without hesitation, he placed the stack of money on the ebony table. The bills made a soft rustle as they landed. "Sir," he said, voice low but resolute, "this is the money you gave Diep to leave James. I won't keep it, and Diep doesn't want it either. James truly loves her. I won't let that love be broken by this money. and I won't let you divide them this way." Mr. Tong looked up, a flash of surprise crossing his cold eyes as they flicked from the money to Tuan's steady face. His voice lowered, as if probing. "You refuse it? Your mother is sick with cancer too. Don't you need this money?" Tuan nodded. His gaze didn't waver, though his voice carried a trace of sorrow. "Yes, she is sick, but I'll find another way to help her. Not like this. Not by tearing Diep away from her happiness. I saw James's pain when he lost her. I won't hurt him further." Mr. Tong fell silent. His hands tightened slightly on the chair's arms. His eyes softened as a memory stirred. His own mother, frail and pleading on her deathbed, back in the days when he had no means to save her. That old pain pierced his chest again, and with it came a twinge of regret. He had tried to buy Diep away with money, just as he had once been powerless to save someone he loved. He gave a slow nod, voice quieter and no longer cold. "All right. You may go. I'll reconsider." Tuan bowed slightly and turned to leave. A trace of relief crossed his face, though his heart still carried the weight of concern. "I did the right thing, but now James needs to know the truth. He has to find Diep and help me save my mum." Outside, the frosty morning air bit at his face, but his steps were steady, full of quiet determination. James will understand. He won't let Diep suffer alone. At the farm, James sat at an old desk, the pale morning light casting shadows across his tired face through the cracks in the wooden walls. His sharp eyes were now clouded with pain. Di had vanished without a word, leaving him empty and torn. The metal roof creaked in the wind, mold-stained wooden walls surrounded him, and the scent of fresh lumber mixed with damp earth. The only sound was the soft popping of a small heater. A weak red flame danced inside, casting James's shadow on the wall, lonely and still. His thick grey jacket, dusted with farm soil, hung heavy on his shoulders. His hands trembled as he tried to focus on the books before him, but his thoughts were far from numbers. Where is Diep? Why didn't she say anything? Is she okay out there? The door creaked open. Tuan stepped in, red dust on his boots, a firm look on his face. His voice broke the silence. "James, I just returned the $20,000 to your father. Diep gave it to me for my mum's treatment, but I didn't take it. She accepted the money because her mum has cancer. The surgery costs about 500 million dong. She didn't want you to suffer, so she kept it from you." James froze. For a moment, he couldn't breathe. Then pain hit him like a knife. His hands clenched until his knuckles turned white. His voice shook. "Why didn't she tell me? Why didn't she trust me enough to share this? I could have helped. I would have helped her mum." Tuan sat across from him, the oil lamp between them casting quiet shadows. His voice was calm, steady. "She was afraid. Afraid you'd think she betrayed you. Afraid you'd hate her. I also updated your father on the business. Last 2 months' revenue hit 7 billion, spent 2.5 billion on lumber and repairs, 500 million on holiday bonuses, profits around 4 billion. The ledger's here, but what matters most is Diep's mum. I can't cover the surgery alone. I need your help." James nodded, eyes locked on Tuan, voice low but resolute. "I'll take care of it. I'll help her mother. But you need to take me to her, right now. I can't let her suffer alone for another second." His thoughts roared like fire. "She didn't betray me. She did it out of love for her mum, for family. But she doesn't know. She is my family. I have to bring her back. I need to show her I'll never give up on her, no matter what." He stood, his hands gripping the table, eyes burning with determination. His heart pounded as he thought of Diep, the woman he loved beyond all else, the one he would give everything to keep by his side. They returned to Diep's makeshift shelter, a simple tent built from old wood and torn tarps, hidden near the edge of the farm. The cold December wind howled through the cracks, making the space tremble. James stepped inside, red dirt clinging to his boots. He saw her curled up at a small wooden table, the oil lamp casting a faint light across her pale face and tear-streaked cheeks. He sat across from her, voice shaking with both fear and joy. "Diep. Why didn't you tell me? I looked everywhere. I thought I'd lost you." She looked up, tears falling silently. Her voice cracked. "James, I need to tell you everything. Your father gave me $20,000 to leave you. I didn't take it because I don't love you, but because my mother has cancer. The surgery costs nearly 500 million. I had no choice. I was afraid you'd suffer because of me. Afraid you'd think I betrayed you." He reached out, holding her icy hands in his warm ones. His voice was soft but firm. "Diep, why didn't you trust me? I don't care about the money. I never thought you betrayed me. I only care about you. I'll help your mother. We'll get through this. Together." She looked up, eyes filled with tears, her voice trembling. "You're not mad at me? I thought you'd hate me." He shook his head and pulled her into his arms. His warmth surrounded her like a promise. "I love you, Diep. Nothing can change that. This misunderstanding isn't worth losing each other." She cried into his chest, this time tears of relief. Her heart felt lighter, her voice silent but certain. "He still loves me. I don't have to hide anymore." Just then, the sound of an engine echoed across the field. A sleek car pulled up outside the tent, red dust rising behind it. Mr. Tong stepped out, dressed in a black suit. But his eyes were no longer cold. Instead, they held regret and reflection. He entered the tent, his polished shoes leaving marks on the dirt floor. His voice was low, cutting through the silence. "Diep, James, I need to speak with both of you." Diep tensed, her eyes fearful, but James tightened his grip on her hand and said firmly, "Dad, if you're here to blame her, don't. I know everything, and I choose to stay with her." Mr. Tong shook his head and sat down. The oil lamp lit his lined face, softening the edges. "I'm not here to blame her. I'm here to apologize. I was wrong to pressure you with money, Diep. I thought you weren't right for James. But I was mistaken. Tuan returned the $20,000, and I realized your love is stronger than I believed. I lost my own mother to poverty. I don't want James to lose you the same way." Diep's voice trembled, tears falling again. "I thank you, sir, but I don't dare ask for your forgiveness." Mr. Tong offered a rare, gentle smile. "You have it, and I hope you both find happiness." James nodded. "Thank you, Dad. I'll take care of Diep's mother. We'll face everything together." Mr. Tong rose, patting his son's shoulder with quiet pride. "Take care of each other." He left, stepping into the car with a peace he hadn't felt in years. Inside the small tent, James and Diep looked at each other with eyes full of love. He pulled her into his arms, his lips brushing hers in a kiss that was gentle, yet filled with fierce certainty. It was home, and she knew it. That evening, in the wooden house on the farm, the glow of the oil lamp filled the space with warmth. The smell of rice and braised fish drifted through the air. James, Diep, and Tuan sat around the old table, their mismatched bowls full of simple but delicious food. Tuan laughed heartily. "I can't believe Mr. Tong apologized. James, you really pulled it off." James shook his head, his eyes shining as he looked at Diep. "Not me. It was Diep. She made my father see our love." Diep smiled, cheeks flushed with happiness. "Thank you, Tuan, for returning the money, for bringing me back." Tuan nodded. "I just did the right thing. You two deserve this." They raised their bowls. Laughter echoed in the cozy room. The cold outside no longer touched them, only the joy of a small family. James, Diep, and their loyal friend Tuan gathered for a simple dinner, rich in love, sealed in hope, proving their love had endured and grown stronger, like the lush green rows of vegetables outside the field. James finally confesses his love to Diep, the beginning of a new chapter after so many trials. Stay tuned for chapter 32, where their lasting happiness begins to unfold.
Vì sao? Trong ánh bình minh nhạt dần của một vùng nông thôn Việt Nam, nơi những cánh rừng xanh thẳm ôm lấy từng mái nhà đơn sơ, LyTuDiep bắt đầu ngày mới với những bước chân chậm rãi nhưng đầy kiên định. Cuộc sống cô, một người phụ nữ từng bị gò bó trong đau khổ, giờ đây đã có chút ánh sáng nhờ sự xuất hiện của CEO Diep, người đàn ông giàu có với trái tim ấm áp. Nhưng khi tình yêu thương đã tưởng chừng đã chạm đến trái tim cô, một bóng đen từ quá khứ lại hiện về, kéo theo những nghi ngờ và nỗi sợ hãi. Liệu trái tim Diệp có đủ dũng cảm để đón nhận hạnh phúc, hay cô mãi bị giam cầm trong chính những vết thương lòng không lành? Câu trả lời nằm trong những giờ khắc cảm xúc của tập 13 này. Chúc các bạn nghe truyện vui vẻ. Diệp đứng giữa cánh rừng thưa, nơi những chiếc lá rong xanh mướt rủ xuống như những tấm rèm tự nhiên. Ánh nắng đầu ngày xuyên qua tán cây, chiếu lên khuôn mặt cô những vệt sáng mờ nhạt, làm nổi bật đôi mắt trầm buồn. Hôm nay cô quyết định đi hái lá rong để bán. Một công việc đơn giản nhưng đủ để cô cảm thấy mình còn giá trị trong cuộc sống đầy bất ổn này. Trong lòng cô, một ý nghĩ lặp đi lặp lại. Như tiếng gió rít qua rừng, cô cần tiền không chỉ để sửa sang trang trại mà giam đã cho cô